Hey guys, welcome to the great premiere. My name is Rex, and today we're going to be talking about Dexter Season 2 and why it fails as a season. Dramatic, I know, but you gotta start off with a good hook. I paid attention in English class. Now let me start by saying that the first half of Dexter Season 2 is actually pretty good. Now let me just explain the premise real quick for all of you stowaways who haven't actually seen it. Basically, in Dexter Season 2, the police have found Dexter's stash of dead bodies and they're looking for the culprit. And this is in the first and second episodes, so immediately it's like, oh snap, they're onto him. Everyone's gonna find out that he's a serial killer. And for a while you're thinking like, oh my god, this really sucks for you, Dexter. The police are closing in on you. You're gonna lose your family. You're gonna go to jail. It's actually kind of funny at times because during the more mellow scenes where he's just eating lunch with someone, you're like, oh my god, what are you doing? You shouldn't be eating lunch with someone. You should be figuring out a way to get the police off your back. And when a TV show can make you feel like that, that's good writing, when you're more worried for the protagonist than the protagonist is themselves. And it's not just Dexter you're worried about. There's a character in Season 2, Sergeant James Doakes, who's like a no-nonsense tough cop who's suspicious of Dexter. For reasons that are different than the dead bodies. I know, it's weird. But like, Doakes has a feeling that Dexter is a criminal, which he is. He's a serial killer. So even though Doakes is the antagonist, you kind of want him to succeed too. So there's a lot of complex emotions in Dexter Season 2. You want Dexter to succeed, but you also want Doakes to succeed, and Dexter has a family, but Doakes is just living by the law, and Dexter is a serial killer, but Doakes is kind of extreme in his methods. So yeah, there's a lot of complex emotions. And there's my cue to stop filming for another 10 minutes because the refrigerator just turned on again. You know, background noise and stuff. I'm a filmmaker, okay? As I was saying, the first 7 episodes are really good like that. Now, they're not perfect. They do have some falters, like when Dexter went to pull the fire alarm to get everyone out of the building so he could delete some video evidence of him. This situation seemed a little too convenient, like how there were no cameras anywhere to see Dexter doing this, or how he was able to hide behind this chair and not be seen. But hey, I'm not CinemaSins, I don't mind that much. The first 7 episodes are great. That's the point. Now, it all comes crashing down when Lila sets fire to her apartment. Quick recap on who Lila is. At the beginning of Season 2, Dexter tells Rita that he has a heroin addiction to cover up the fact that he's a serial killer. I know, who can relate? So Rita sends him to recovery meetings where he meets Lila and she becomes his sponsor. Dexter ends up having an affair with Lila. It puts a strain on his relationship with Rita. Eventually Dexter ends the affair and everything seems fine and dandy until Lila sets fire to her apartment and Dexter has to rescue her. So, bear with me guys, this is a long sentence. Lila goes from a free-spirited girl to a soap opera villain who will stop at nothing to be with Dexter, including setting fire to her own apartment so she can stay at Dexter's apartment, accusing his best friend of sexual assault, and telling Dexter she won't press charges if he'll stay with her. And it's not just a matter of, oh, maybe she's telling the truth. No, we actually see her drugging herself to frame him. And breaking into his car and finding out all of his secrets so she can be closer to him. Oh, and also she breaks into Rita's apartment for no reason. This is bad writing. No one in their right mind would think anyone would want to be with them after doing all that. And you might think, hey, that's an interesting choice of words because at the end of Season 2, it's revealed that Lila actually isn't in her right mind, and she's a psychopath.
You're emotionally colorblind. You use the right words, you pantomime the right behavior, but the feelings never come to pass.
Well, I don't care. Her being a psychopath doesn't explain her behavior in these last 5 episodes. Dexter's a psychopath, and he doesn't act like that. Why would the writers do this to her? Well, it all becomes clear when Lila kills James Doakes.
What are you doing? What the are you doing? No! Turn it off! No! Do you understand this is murder?
Remember him from the beginning of the video, people who haven't seen the show? There's probably no one watching this video who hasn't seen the show. But anyway, Lila, a character who's never met James Doakes before, kills him instead of Dexter. This is the meat of my problem with Dexter Season 2. And I'm sorry I said meat and just did that gesture with my hands. But you understand why this is a problem, right? Doakes is the antagonist to Dexter, not to Lila or to anyone else. If Doakes is gonna die, it has to be by Dexter's hands. Imagine if in Game of Thrones, instead of Jaime killing Cersei Lannister, a bunch of rocks fell on top of her. The thing is, I was actually pretty excited for the end of season 2 because they seem to be setting up something that was unprecedented in Dexter history. Dexter killing someone who didn't fit Harry's code. Harry was Dexter's foster dad who knew that Dexter was a serial killer, so he set up a list of rules that Dexter had to follow. Dexter could only kill bad people. You'll notice that James Doakes does not fit this code. I mean, he's killed people, but only in self-defense, and he's a cop. He's on the right side of the law. Only problem is, he finds out that Dexter is a serial killer.
Jesus Christ, you're the Bay Harbor Butcher.
I really hate that name.
That's interesting. What's Dexter going to do about that? Does he turn himself in, or does he kill a perfectly good, law-abiding citizen just to protect his identity? They seem to be foreshadowing that he was gonna do it. He was gonna kill James Doakes.
You're gonna have to kill me, Morgan!
But no, Lila swoops in and saves the day, killing James Doakes for him. What a good girlfriend. She does this for reasons completely unrelated to Dexter's struggle. The only reason she was at that cabin was to find out Dexter's secrets. She wasn't under any time limit, she wasn't actively searching for Doakes, she didn't even know who he was. She just stumbled upon him at the right time, found out he was a cop, and killed him to impress Dexter. It seems to me that the writers were afraid the audience would stop rooting for Dexter if he killed a cop, so they turned Lila into a crazy soap opera villain so she could do it for him. I hate this ending, if you can't tell already. Because Dexter wasn't forced to kill James Doakes, he doesn't understand the consequences of his actions as well. You might think that, well, it's just too evil for Dexter to kill a good person like James Doakes. He would no longer be a good protagonist. The show would become too controversial. No one would root for him anymore, and it's hard enough to root for him as it is, what with the whole serial killer thing. But I would argue that Dexter killing James Doakes would make him less evil. It would humble him a bit. It would show him that he can't just recklessly kill people, even if they are bad, because good people get in the way. And maybe in the future, he'll think twice about killing someone else. But instead, the ending of season 2 just feels too safe and too convenient. Okay, now I want to talk about the other really bad, really inconvenient thing that happens in season 2. Oh my god, there's more? Yes, there's more, but this is a lot shorter, don't worry. On the opposite end of the show, far away from chopped up bodies and angry policemen, we have Rita's mom, Gail. Gail comes to live with Rita and the kids for a few months, and right away she's suspicious of the new boyfriend, Dexter. She just has a feeling that he's hiding something, and it's not just the drug addiction. But, just like James Doakes, Dexter ultimately doesn't have to do anything to stop her. Basically, Rita finds out that Gail was fired from her job as a teacher for being too harsh to her students, so Rita kicks Gail out of the house. None of Gail's suspicion rubs off on Rita in any way, and Dexter is in the clear again. The whole thing lasts only like 4 or 5 episodes. So there you go. 2 events in Dexter Season 2 that were riddled with conveniences. I don't know, part of me wishes that they didn't kill off James Doakes so early because he's so passionate, he brings such a unique energy to the show. So yeah, it's sad that they killed him, especially because his replacement Quinn in Season 3 is just kind of bland. In fact, Season 3 in general is just more lethargic and lower energy than Season 2. And I think James Doakes' absence is part of the reason for that. I don't know, you guys can argue about that in the comments. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. This has been The Great Premiere. My name is Rex. See you later.